What would you trade for applause, your truth, your friends, or the last clean mirror in your house? If you stay with me, you may find a simple way to keep your mirror clean. We start at night because bad ideas love the dark. A ring light glows, a chat scrolls, and hearts float up like little promises. A woman smiles at the camera, calm, smooth, and ready for praise. Her name is Maya, and she runs human resources at a startup called Citrus. She is also a wellness influencer, and that is where the trouble begins. She says she believes in kindness, growth, and clean living. The city believes her because people like a pretty story. The stream title reads Radical Transparency, and it sparkles on the screen. Off-screen, a courier drags 3 bags of launch trash to a locked bin behind the office. Someone films it on a phone, and their thumb shakes, and then the clip is deleted. You can guess who deleted it, and yes, it matters later. The chat begs for a name, because a crowd needs a face to love and a face to blame. Maya says she will never cancel people, and she says she only coaches them. She breathes in, and the whole room inhales with her. This is the air of confidence, and it smells like sugar and polish. The company sells a lifestyle called Zero Trace, and the promise is no waste at all. People want a clean planet, and they want it with next-day delivery. But numbers are rude, and they hate fairy tales. The numbers sit on a spreadsheet in a quiet folder, and they do not smile. A young analyst named Theo stares at those cells and frowns. He is careful, steady, and a little shy. He believes in facts, and he thinks facts will win. He writes a memo that says the waste numbers are wrong. He adds one sharp line that says this could be fraud. He deletes that line because he does not want to sound dramatic. He sends the memo with gentle words and polite warnings. Then he empties his coffee, and he tells himself that next week he will be braver. Next week is a famous liar, and you should never trust it. Maya reads the memo, and her face does not move. She thanks Theo with a heart emoji, and she schedules a live stream about integrity. She quotes lines from his memo, and the chat melts with love. His name is not mentioned, and the likes pour in. This is the first small theft, and it feels harmless. The second theft arrives as a soft rumor about a junior marketer. Someone says the junior is negative, and someone says the junior spreads doubt. An anonymous HR complaint appears in a quiet folder that only Maya manages. The junior gets a growth plan, which is a polite door to nowhere. Maya goes live that night and speaks about sabotage with a warm smile. The chat cheers for accountability, and the problem is solved for the viewers. Inside the office, nothing is solved at all. The founders love that Maya keeps the mood positive. They like good numbers and good vibes, and they like them in that order. They sign off on a grand launch for Zero Trace, and they call it a culture win. The launch kits arrive with tissue paper and a handwritten card. The tissue paper is recyclable, but the card is marketing, and marketing is rarely pure. A courier hauls away the extra packaging, and the 3 trash bags wait by the locked bin. Theo steps into the alley, phone in hand, and his thumb shakes again. He films the bags, and the date stamps into the corner. He thinks of rent, and he thinks of his manager, and he thinks of Maya on the screen. He deletes the video, because he does not want to be that guy. He tells himself he will gather better proof first. He tells himself that one more week will not matter. One more week always matters to the truth. Meanwhile, an ex-journalist named Ria pours oat milk and listens to people talk. She works at a cafe where Citrus employees come to breathe and to gossip. She knows the sound of a scared laugh and the weight of a good lie. She follows Maya out of interest and habit because words are her old trade. She notices that Maya repeats the same phrases in different streams. She notices that some of those phrases match the tone of internal memos. She wonders who wrote the memos, and she wonders why they never get credit. Rhea is not a hater, and she is not a fan, and that makes her rare. She starts a little folder and names it Patterns, because she is tidy. Maya keeps helping people at work, and here is the part that complicates your feelings. She sits with a staffer who is drowning in medical bills, and she finds an emergency grant. She helps a designer who cannot sleep, and she moves deadlines to save a marriage. She calls a vendor about unpaid invoices and begs for mercy in a calm voice. Her good deeds are real, and they make her mask harder to spot. She sends money to her mother and checks the sponsor pipeline. She scrolls through comments at 2 in the morning because quiet is dangerous. Praise feels like a seatbelt, and she is scared to drive without it. The line between fear and virtue gets blurry when a camera is on. The company rolls out a pledge called the Zero Halo, and the font is perfect. The pledge says the company is beyond waste, and the chat says, "Sing to us." Theo looks again at the spreadsheet, and the numbers do not move. He looks at his old deleted clip in his mind, and shame heats his neck. He tells Rhea the whole story, because he trusts her careful eyes.
I will not make you a hero, and I will not make you a villain. If we show anything, we show only what they already published. We use timestamps, we use clean language, and we let people decide.
Theo nods, because a calm rule is a strong door.
I waited, and that is on me, and I am done waiting.
Maya prepares her biggest stream of the quarter. She plans to unveil the Zero Halo with a guided reflection on honesty. She picks a soft playlist, and she writes a caption that sparkles. She tells herself this is for the team and for the community. She tells herself that the numbers will catch up if the story is strong. People who live by applause always hope the plot will fix the math. The clock blinks, and the stream begins, and the chat explodes. Maya smiles the steady smile she has practiced in every mirror.
We do not cancel people, we coach them, and we hold each other to our best.
Ahmad pins a comment that says, "Citrus has zero waste, hold us to it." The chat repeats the line and the room hums. On another screen, a thread appears with calm gray text and no insults. Rhea posts links to public claims, and she posts a simple table with dates. She includes memos that show phrases used again on the stream. She includes a photo of 3 trash bags with no faces and a timestamp. She asks one question only, and it is a small, quiet question.
Do these claims match these numbers, or do they not?
A second mod tries to delete the thread, and then stops and lets it stand. The chat splits, and the hearts slow, and the question marks rise. Maya looks at the camera, and for a beat, her face tells the truth. She knows exactly what she did, and exactly why she did it. She closes the laptop before the crowd decides for her. That choice is the cleanest thing she has done in months. The fallout is not a fire, it is a long, cold rain. Citrus pauses the zero language and promises a real audit. Sponsors go quiet, and fans get practical. The comments change from love songs to real questions with commas. The junior marketer transfers to another team, and their smile returns. Theo posts his original memo with his name on the first line.
I should have spoken sooner, and I will not wait again.
People respect that single sentence more than any grand speech. Rhea writes a short note about the cost of applause.
If a standard only punishes the powerless, it is not a standard, it is a costume.
The note is not viral, and it does not need to be. It grows slowly, because truth grows like roots, not like fireworks. Maya disappears for a month, and silence does some honest work. She turns off alerts and walks without her phone for the first time in years. She visits her mother and sits on the floor and eats simple food. She feels the room without the crowd, and it is scary and good. She returns with no ring light and no sponsor link.
I confused applause with proof, and I was wrong, and I am learning.
She stops right there, and she does not ask for anything. People notice that restraint, and they lean in for the first time. Let us rewind and see how we were pulled in so fast. The first hook was a soft kindness that sounded like science. The second hook was an enemy drawn in chalk, and the chalk broke no laws. The third hook was a stage where truth was a guest who needed a ticket. This is the cycle that traps crowds and leaders at the same time. It is the validation trap, and it runs on tiny drops of attention. Each drop feels harmless, and then the cup tilts. The double standard grows in that tilt because it hides under a good goal. Do we want a clean planet? Yes. And do we want clean numbers too? Yes. Do we want kind work? Yes. And do we want fair credit? Yes. When a leader asks you to defend a value, ask to see the receipt. When a crowd asks you to clap, ask what the clap pays for. This story holds many small beats that push and soothe in turns. Curiosity, who is the villain here? Relief, we have a leader who says she loves growth. Unease, the memo words echo on the stream without a name. Calm, the leader says we are open to feedback. The numbers reverse and the trash bags shine in the alley. Relief, a clear thread posts with no insults and no slang. Tension, the mod tries to bury it and then does not. Release, the audit is promised and the language pauses. Repeat this rhythm until your heart learns caution. Now we check our heroes and we keep them human. Theo is not a saint, and he deleted proof to feel safe. His first act was fear, and his next act was courage. That is what growth looks like when it is real. Maya is not a monster, and she helped people every week. She also used kindness as a shield to hide a soft lie. Her first honest act was to close the laptop without a spin. That is what a turn begins with, a small stop and a long quiet. Ria does not scream, and she does not smear. She trusts the audience to count to 10 and read. She believes that proof should not shout to be true. In another timeline, this story ends with a pile of insults and a bigger lie. In this one, it ends with a kitchen table and 8 plain words. That is not exciting, but it is useful. The company learns to stop promising what it cannot measure. The staff learns to speak early, when the stakes are small. The audience learns to pause the clapping and ask for the mirror. You can use this in your own life today. When someone asks you to be outraged, ask for the date and the source. When a leader asks for trust, ask what would make the trust measurable. When your own hand reaches for a like, ask what that like is buying. If the like pays for a mask, let your hand fall and breathe. If the like pays for a mirror, press it once and move on. Let us return to the alley, because that is where the lesson started. The 3 bags did not scream, and they did not trend. They sat next to a locked bin, and they told the truth in silence. The truth is boring until it is suddenly not, and then it is the only thing you need. The last image is simple and stubborn. A person you cannot name opens the bin and sorts the waste by hand. It takes longer, and nobody claps, and the numbers match the claim. That is what proof looks like when the cameras sleep. I will give you a few more beats so the lesson can land. Approval is not evil, but it is hungry, and it will eat your standards if you let it. Standards are not real until they cost you something small. Speak early, show sources, and keep your voice low. If your goodness needs a stage, it is not goodness. If your goodness still stands when the room is empty, it is real. Now we close the loop and answer the first question. What would you trade for applause? And the answer is nothing, not even a small memo. Keep your mirror clean and your house will be fine. Before we part, I want to talk to you like an old friend. Thank you for staying with me to the end, and I mean it. If this story helped you breathe a little deeper, please tap like, subscribe, and leave a comment. If you wish to support this channel, you can donate using the QR code on the bottom right or the link in the video description. You will also find links to other works from a very different series in the description, and those are worth your time. Take care of your mirror, take care of your standards, and come back for the next story. I will be here, and I will bring the gold and the thorns again. See you soon, and may your applause never cost your proof. Good night, and stay honest. We are done here, and the mirror is waiting. Thank you, and goodbye for now.